as well, I presume, don't know much about the capex intensive industries because they are not very happy with the capex growth. Your initial thoughts, sir? Fiscal deficit, capex, personal tax, what have you?
All right. I think firstly, the budget is very, very broad based. It's covered so many areas and so many facets of the economy which are critical. You have focused on agriculture, you have focused on MSME, you have focused on education, transport, tourism, energy, export, all of that. And most important, as the earlier speaker said, is the fact that with the lowering of the tax rates and the increase in the minimum exemption limit, clearly it will spur consumption. So what was it we were looking for in the budget? I was looking at for 3 or 4 things. First thing I was looking for was consumption, which very clearly has been met. I think it's done the consumption boost in the economy is a huge boost that we will see in the days to come. Second, I was looking at job creation, and I think there are enough measures in the budget to facilitate job creation, whether it's in the MSME sector, whether it's in the rural sector, or in various other sectors of the economy. So these were the two broad things that we were looking at. And I think both these have been met. Growth, I think we are still too premature to say that, you mentioned that some of the infra companies, the stocks are down. I think we need to understand the budget a little more before saying that, before commenting on that. I think there is growth, there will be growth, because when you reduce the tax rates, you automatically increase consumption. When you increase consumption, the manufacturer needs to produce more to satisfy that demand, which automatically creates more jobs and creates growth in the economy. So we need to understand a little better. I also think it is growth oriented.
Sure, Mr. Mistry, I appreciate that. Just saying that somehow the street went for the headline numbers, and on that front, it seems to be disappointed because the market is giving that verdict. Maybe it's a false alarm, and as our guest Mihir Vora was saying, the index has corrected so much already, maybe not too much of downside left here.
Absolutely, and I think in terms of the capex number, the number that we're tracking, probably the markets are looking at it in a positive way, but there is a correction in the market, so we cannot rule that out, Neeraj, as you're saying. But let's also take this question with Sandeep Bhatia. Sandeep, good afternoon. Your first cut in terms of how are you looking at the budget, with the numbers that have come in specifically with the fiscal deficit, and in turn, if you have to look at the capex, because the markets are really not reading it well now.
As the previous two speakers have said, I think this is a budget which is balancing many things. Focusing on one number is a wrong way to look at and evaluate any budget. Definitely not this one. I think the patient is taking the medicine which the doctor ordered. The patient needed a consumption boost, and that's what is getting administered, and that's a good thing. Capex is definitely not. There's no space for giving a capex boost and a consumption boost in the budget. So simple as that. You have to make a choice, and I think the doctor has made a right choice. So that's where it is. I think on the whole, if the market is falling, well, market and economy are correlated over long periods of time, and in the near term, anything can happen in the market. A lot of things, the kind of run up we have had, that itself warrants a correction in my view for the stock indices, and that's what's happening. And that's also actually in the end healthy for the markets. If market price is correct, that's also in the end definitely a good thing.